have to do what they call perimeter, which basically means keep other folks from messing with them while ICE is doing their thing.
Okay.
My problem, and I have expressed this to Chief Como several times, is that when you have people who are unidentified or unidentifiable,
Yes.
they have on masks or whatever. The last time I checked, there was a law that said you cannot impersonate a police officer.
Right.
So, I asked the police department, do you ask these individuals to show you some sort of ID indicating that they are
Something.
exactly who they are?
Right.
And I've never really gotten an answer on that. Therein lies one of the problems.
Yes. Yes.
But generally speaking, they're doing a much better job. The fact that they've got an office with the city now, the Office of Community Police Oversight, and Ms. Andre is doing an excellent job, has great staff. And so we have participation. The police department is overwhelmed in many respects, though,
Very much so.
because of the
yes.
fact that they have to address the fact that they're not able to get to places where they should be in a timely manner.
For us regular folks that pay the taxes in the city of Dallas, that pay that 61% of the budget, that goes to public safety.
Yeah, exactly. and therein is also one of the problems.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question
That
in a very
answers-
long lawyer way?
Perfect, right? Perfect. Because you guys are wordsmiths. So, what are you seeing on the ground when it comes to ICE? Because we've seen things in the news, and they're at the courthouse, and I'm like, but if someone is going through the process
Exactly.
to become a citizen,
Exactly.
why are you
Yeah.
trying to deport them?
Yeah. So I and members of my church go to immigration court every week,
Okay.
and have been doing that for over a year now. We did have a class action injunction come out of California this week,
Okay.
preventing ICE agents at this moment from going to court and taking people. But to your point, well, until it
blows
gets
up.
appealed,
Right. But still.
But for the moment,
Right.
right. But I will also say, on the same day that came out of California, ICE agents showed up at our immigration court for the first time in several weeks, as if to just make their presence known. I have been...
That's called intimidation.
It is. And let me tell you another intimidation one. Last fall, I showed up in my collar. I heard that they were there to be taking some people. I showed up, got off the elevator, 5 or 6 men. They didn't have masks on at that moment. I said, hello, gentlemen. I guess it's going to be you and me hanging out today. I took my phone out and I snapped a photo because we're in a public hallway.
Absolutely.
One of them, the leader, got up in my face with his phone, took a picture of my face, and I said, would you like my name? And I'm tied to a church, happy to give you my name.
And spell it correctly.
He said, no, we have facial recognition. I now know your name and where you live. And I said, is that a threat? He said, I don't know. I then shared that photo of him.
See, this is why AI is dangerous,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now you're doxing people.
Correct. So I was able to get that photo of that man to Robert Cerna, who's the head of ICE here in North Texas.
Okay.
I said, I want this man has a picture of my face on his phone. I want it removed.
Right. And your private details.
Right. Nothing's happened.
And
So
no-
this is,
nothing
and
will.
I'm in a collar, right? So imagine what they're doing to other people, and imagine what they're doing behind closed doors.
Imagine what they're doing to people with no moxie.
Right. Well, right.
They aren't
Sure.
willing to stand up for
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
and take,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because bullies win when they feel like they can
Yeah.
intimidate you, and
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. And to your point, they're taking people who are following a process. They are in a legal process laid out by our government. They are showing up to the ICE check-in appointments. They're showing up for their immigration, asylum hearings. They are in a legal process, and they are being taken. The Dallas Morning News showed last year, 2025, something like 80% of the people who were taken in North Texas, and we have the highest rate of people being taken in the North Texas office. Now, the North Texas office covers parts of Texas up into Oklahoma. We have the highest rate of people being detained, and most of them are being taken for following a process. They're not the worst of the worst.
Like it was sold to us.
Right.
But I had a Dallas police officer way back when I first started the show, I want to say back in like 2017, that was trying to share information with me about the people who, you know, were the bad actors.
Sure.
And he's like, you'll be able to tell by their names. And I'm like, I'm not seeing those surnames that you're referring to.
Right.
They were Latino surnames that he was alluding to.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing them.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing the information that is always being said. Now, back to our DPD officers, since the Oversight Board has come to be, are we seeing a decrease in cases, or is it just kind of flat?
It appears to me that as far as cases of police brutality and things like that, they have been reduced significantly.
Good.
For a number of different reasons, not the least of which is IAD is serious now. They weren't then.
Right.
And then if it gets beyond IAD, our board is serious. And we're trying to make sure that the general public knows that if they're not satisfied with whatever happens with the complaints with IAD, that they have a right to come to us and be heard by us. And then we have the authority to suggest, cajole, discuss, try to get DPD to do the right thing. We don't have the authority yet to order DPD to do things. Nor do we have the authority yet to subpoena police officers to testify. Again, we suggest, we cajole, and we've got a pretty good relationship now that they'll tell the officers that it's in their best interest to say something to us.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, we can infer from that there's some issue.
Yeah.
That's very good to know, because I know with the activists that I know, Tam, Changa, Dominique, all you guys out there fighting for the cause, that's always a concern with Black and brown individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I'm not, y'all can come after me all y'all want to, because I'm a big girl. I'll give you my address. We can have tea on the front porch and have a conversation. But it happens to everyone, all walks of life can experience this. But there's something tragic when you see the number of people, percentage-wise, from the population that are incarcerated. They're Black, second, they're brown, and looking at their number population-wise in the country, in the city, and say, are we still holding on to old tropes here that because I am what God made me, I'm just naturally a miscreant and a threat to people. So that is good that you guys are getting more teeth, because I know that's been a big problem.
Yes, it has.
With the Oversight Board. So how are you guys trying to turn that dial to get more teeth to sink into things when we have a bad actor?
That's up to the city council. And so what we do is we have discussions with our individual city council members who appointed us and let them know that we need more teeth. And then, of course, you've got to look at the fact that DISD has their union, and they're very strong. And their union can, let's say, oppose some things that we may be going after to make happen. So that does happen.
But isn't it in the best interest for people to trust these agencies?
Oh, absolutely.
Which is part of the problem with ICE. How do you trust an agency that is acting like an extrajudicial paramilitary organization, not showing
any regard for the law?
Well, no badges, often faces covered and things like that. I would love, I'm going to go off topic for a second,
go ahead,
but I'm just going to say that recently, I wrote about it, and several others in Dallas have written about it, that Love Field is owned by the city of Dallas.
Yes.
Taxpayer owned.
Yes.
Yes. There is a leasee that is operating with ICE and shuttling people across the country, happening in Love Field. It has gone to city council.
That's trafficking.
It is trafficking, isn't it?
And look,
and it would seem to me the police department
would
have some interest in knowing who is being shuttled through Love Field, a city-owned airport
facility. Yes. And I would tell you, you guys, motivation behind doing the show is education, because it helps you make better decisions when it comes to voting time, and making sure that you're selecting officials that are representing us commoners' interests. And I remember back in the 70s, police officers driving around and giving us, football
Warnings?
cards.
Oh.
No, they were little football cards to trade with and all this other kind of stuff. Because it was to build relations and trust and all of that kind of stuff. So so if something happened to me, I'm supposed to believe that these guys are going to do everything possible to make sure that I'm safe.
Right.
And so the fact that we have to have oversight over actors, these agencies, because one thing, if we haven't learned from corporate America won't do it unless they're made to do it.
Right.
And unfortunately, those are humans behind that. So we have to make them act right. Mm-hmm. So what other kind of problems have you guys run against with ICE in trying to protect people that want to be here and they're doing it the right way? They didn't come sneaking over. They did it the right way. They followed the proper channels. They have an attorney. They paid the money. They're here for asylum or whatever their reasons are. But they're doing it legally for who's out there that say just do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the lawsuits are starting to, I think, catch up with the reality, 18 months into this process. So there is an organization that's working with Texas A&M Law Center that is filing habeas corpus petition. Thank you. You can speak to this better than I can. But basically saying you have no right to hold these people who are in a legal process. They have, they are in a legal process and you are scooping them up. And we also need to talk about the detention facilities are these for-profit prisons, right? And that's a whole other thing. And that is for-profit prisons are a problem, have always been a problem, continue to be a problem, and now they're making bank.
Because they want their bodies.
Because with each body they get more money.
Yes.
But so A&M Law Center is working with a number, and so if there are lawyers out there that are willing to volunteer their time to help file these
cause, yes,
to get people out and back with their families while their legal process works itself out in the system. Because again, these are not criminals; these are not people who have been charged with a crime.
Yes,
they are in a legal
It makes
process.
absolutely no sense to be rounding up somebody who is at the courthouse because they're trying to do the right thing.
And these are people that are working.
They're
paying taxes.
Yeah,
correct,
exactly.
Correct.
They have kids in school. They just want to have a normal life, like everyone else.
But they're up against some serious situations. I mean, just last week or just a couple of days ago, the Supreme Court has said that thousands of Haitians can be deported even though they've been here for 15 years and legally, and now they can just be swooped up and thrown out of the country
and sent back to a country that our own State Department says it's dangerous. Don't go there.
They say they've got a level 4,
right?
Which means don't even go there.
Yeah.
You go to the Dominican Republic, but do not go across the border.
Right. Exactly.
Because if you're in Haiti, your life is not worth much. But we're going to send people back to that country. It makes no sense.
Right. Well, and so that's the temporary protected status. And again, these are people who have built lives here. And some of them have businesses, own property, like things like that. And literally
people,
overnight, their status changes.
Just like that.
So they're not even given okay, you've got 6 months to get
right. They're not given a warning.
Overnight, their status changes, and they are then considered quote illegal.
And you can bet that they're going to be rounded up,
correct,
literally within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And we also haven't talked about the immigration enforcement.
Go ahead.
Is impacting U.S. citizens, right? Hundreds of thousands of U.S. citizen children are being torn away from their parents.
Yes, they are.
And we're talking about
on, pro-life people. Pro-life people.
Right, exactly. Trauma, the trauma that those kids are going to carry with them for the rest of their lives. And we as a society are going to have to foot that bill. We're going to have to take care of the trauma that our government has inflicted on these kids who are U.S. citizens.
Absolutely.
So that's why, there's this whole push with getting rid of birthright citizenship. And I hate
That
going...
ruling is going to be made within the next 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if I can even stay here.
Well, I mean, they're talking about going back generations, right?
Yes.
And where am I supposed to go? Because I
Right.
have people that were indigenous here.
Right.
Half of my family is indigenous
Right.
here. Now, my dad's side, they came from Germany and Switzerland. So you're going to deport me on that? Because Germany and Swiss folks aren't being rounded up. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, 100%. Right.
And I hate to say this, that in 2026, we're looking like we did back in the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah.
Yep. History repeats itself.
It does.
And they say, lack of knowledge is what perpetrates that. But I'm seeing that this is a
Deliberate.
yes, concerted effort
Deliberate.
done intentionally.
We only got to look at what happened at the State Board of Ed this week to know that this is a deliberate
Talk
effort.
about that.
That's
Yes.
a whole nother
I
issue.
mean,
Yes,
again,
let's
like
talk-
the layers of this are so right.
it
If
is
you don't know,
unbelievable.
like the social studies teaks that were changed at one point, they were trying it was defeated, but 5 of those board members voted to have it removed from the curriculum that the Civil War was about slavery. Instead, they wanted it to say it was about states' rights.
Yeah, whatever.
And then, of course, there's the religious aspect.
Right, yes.
Which is another big deal, because while I happen to be a Christian and believe,
Yep.
that doesn't mean I should force my issues upon some 6-year-old who doesn't know yet.
Right.
It just makes no
I'm a
sense.
plaintiff against the state of Texas in the 10 Commandments lawsuit, the one that was just
yes.
ruled on by
Yes.
the Fifth Circuit and is
Yes.
being appealed to the
Yes.
Supreme Court. And as what I continue to say to people is, even though I'm Christian, I'm not that kind of Christian. And they may be going after the others now, but they're going to come from my kind of Christian at some point.
Absolutely.
But are those really Christians? When
Well,
you
that's
really,
a
when you
100%.
really look
There's another
at
story.
the word.
I know. Well,
And I tell people all the time, I'm a board certified heathen. Okay. I wear my letters proud on my chest. I am a heathen.
yeah.
But I walk the walk
Correct.
more
But
and
you,
better
you are loved
than
better
some-
than some people.
Yeah. 100%.
that go every Sunday, and it's just, it boggles my mind. But again, I tell people, and I've had this argument with some of my politicos. You and I had this discussion, ran for school board in Richardson, with removing books,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
and I'm like, I'm a parent. If I say you're not reading it, you're not reading it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Period.
It should
End
be
of
the
story.
parent
Yeah.
making that decision.
Well,
not
And
the
also
school.
with religion.
Right. Same thing. Well, the other side is all about parental rights on
Except
certain things, not on education, not on religion, not on sexuality, not on any of those things. They want to control what the books and the curriculum.
Kind of like pro-life until the child is born.
Correct.
yeah.
And then it
Correct.
goes to the wind.
Right.
Correct.
And what
That's
was
another story.
Yeah, it is. They're all layered,
We're
though.
just running
they're
a bunch
all
of
layered.
stories.
And what's really interesting, when I had part of the Mandela 12 on, and we were discussing, and Byron Sanders, pardon me, is a school board trustee, and I was like, how did y'all get Mandela's story into the curriculum in this climate
Yeah.
that we're in? And he's like, oh, well, there's a percentage of world history that has to be taught,
Yeah.
and that's how we did it. And it's like, if you're ashamed of it, I get it, and that is part of your legacy, and I get it. But just own it. Because
Right.
I have to own my
Exactly.
mistakes,
Sure.
which is what we want our police and ICE officers
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
to
yeah.
own
Own it.
their mistakes and just, hey, this is your opportunity to make sure bad actors are
Yeah.
not in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
So, again, going back to the oversight. So, do y'all are y'all looking to? Well, no, because you can't expand because you're with the city of Dallas, and so I have the Black Police Officers Association coming on, and
I used to represent them when I was practicing law.
so I did not know that they covered, dark police officers, their members, the ISD. I thought it was just strictly Dallas Police. So how do we make sure? So you talked about the DISD union kind of pushing back on you guys. How do we get the expansion to not just be DPD?
Well, I'm assuming that, and I'm thinking that the officers have to take it within themselves individually to make sure that they listen and make the right decisions. As someone once said and got into trouble for saying it, you don't follow an illegal order.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be very important for the officers individually to take it upon themselves to say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And this is why. I'll explain it. Take whatever heat comes, but I'll explain it.
Can we get ICE to do that? But probably
No,
not.
but so
ICE is a whole different thing. I mean, first of all,
let's talk about hiring practices.
Yeah.
Who are they hiring?
well, who hires them? Who hires them? Who do they report to?
Right.
If they can go out masked and unidentified, how do we know that they're really ICE and not some traffickers?
we don't,
Or even-
especially in Texas.
Especially in Texas. I mean, for example, there's a lot of what I call posse comitatus out there. And
Come on, for my regular folks that don't know that term.
no, I'm going to make you explain it. We've got to worry about that. We don't know whether these people are authorized to do what they're doing.
Yes.
If they are authorized, what are they authorized to do?
Right.
And therein lies part of the problem.
I will also say, I write for Baptist News Global, and I was sent to both Chicago and Minneapolis.
Yes.
So I went to Minneapolis and was on the ground.
Oh, wow.
The week after Renee Good was shot, and I left the day before Alex Preddy was shot.
Yes.
So I was in there, and they were. I mean, it was insane. But one of the things that I would love our police to do, the Minneapolis police were given an order that you protect the citizen, the people of our
Right.
town, right? The people who live in our town.
Yes.
I understand that the police can't intervene in legitimate immigration actions.
Yes.
But how do we know which ones are legitimate?
That's the
Yes.
question.
They scoop up anybody who's brown, anybody who speaks Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
anybody who, there was a ruling out of the Supreme Court
Well, heck, they're
last
even
fall.
going after people that look Eritrean and
Oh, yeah.
Ethiopian.
Right. Oh, 100%. It's not, yeah. And then they sort it out, right?
After the
fact, after they've taken them, after they've held them. The police should, some of those are U.S. citizens. And then they're dumped,
And when you
down
sue,
the road, whatever.
Who do you sue?
Who do you sue? And I would love to see our police engage in that kind of conversation of if you're going to take groups of people, I need to know that this is a legitimate thing. It's the same thing about Love Field. We need to know who's being shuttled.
Yes.
And why, and how, and what are the actual charges?
Yes.
Otherwise, the police are complicit
in
the all
kidnapping.
of this.
Yes, in the trafficking. And so, a lot of people have asked questions about when I get pulled over, why do 4 other cars need to show up? Because I'm I'm a regular person.
Right.
What are you doing? And you're searching my car and looking for any and everything.
You
and,
still have rights.
Right.
But the problem is exercising those rights
Yes.
and being ready to have to respond to someone who violates those rights. It's lawyers have a lot of work to do.
They do.
If we can get the lawyers to do it.
But with that was some of the conversations I had when our numbers were lower with DPD. That during a stop, traffic issue, incident, accident, those kind of things, that ties up a lot of resources.
Right.
So if a particular beat has 50 officers, let's say 10 of them called out, and then you have 2 incidents that take 5 officers each, you just made your 50 to little or nothing. And yes, that they need to be present. Run those records on those people. I'm willing to have you do that job. If it means protecting people who are caught up in a situation, is our citizens,
Right.
or people that are going through the legal process. If it's a bad actor,
Yeah.
they still have rights.
Sure, 100%.
But and I don't want them to be brutalized
No.
in this. But okay, we know you're the bad actor. You're just going to sit and wait until everyone else is processed. And I know that can eat up a lot of resources, but doesn't that behoove us to show that we're keeping our city safe?
Right.
I like your idea of asking the police to concentrate more on protecting the citizens than protecting the ICE agents.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic idea, and I'm going to take that back to
Thank
the,
you.
to
Yes.
the board and
Yes.
make that a request. I'll start out with IAD and move on from there
Yeah.
because that makes sense.
Right.
You know, you got any.
We pay their
situation-
salaries.
We pay their salaries. You've got a situation where the ICE agents are going after a group of people. The officers have to make a decision. Do I block out the group of people so that the ICE agent can do their job, or do I represent and be with the group of people and make sure that the ICE agents are really agents? That is a really critical
Abiding
issue.
by
And
our
are taking
laws.
actual criminals.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. I
Exactly.
mean, that helps protect our law.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to be there for that meeting.
Oh, you
when
know
it's
you
brought
will.
Oh,
up.
I'll
Yes.
come out. I'm happy to show up.
You know, I will let you know. We've got our next
Yes,
meeting is in August.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I
So
really expect
people
everybody to
start
be there.
showing up because they're in the council chambers and it is sparse with people.
And
Yeah.
we need some participation of the citizenry to
Yeah.
show that really we're saying things that the citizens want to hear.
Right. Right.
That
Thank
is
you.
Thank you. Excellent.
at a time where people are saying that it's just not safe in the city of Dallas. If you're just tuning in, we have Victor Lander, former municipal judge, and he's on the Oversight Committee for District 8, which is Lori Blair's council district. And then we have Reverend Bim here discussing her work that she has done across the nation when it comes to protecting our citizens, but protecting people, which protects our laws.
Right.
Where all of our constitutionalists want to sit up here and talk about activists and how they circumvent the law and activist judges and this, that, and the other. But one thing that I will say, Russell Wilson and my other guest that I had on, hats off to y'all teaching us about jury nullification, baby. And if you're serving on a jury and you think it's not fair, you can't say,
But
I
the
don't
first
agree
thing you
with
need
this.
to do is serve. And
Yes.
that's one of the problems that I see with juries is we, as a people, have a tendency to try to get off of a jury.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then we look around and we're so surprised that a black defendant will have an all-white jury.
Right.
Uh,
right.
Let's not.
One
Frisco.
from just happening in Collin County.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I wasn't going to go there.
I can go there. I'm the host, so I can go
I
there.
wasn't going to go there. But I'm very pleased with the lawyers who have stepped up now to represent and
Yeah.
appeal.
Yes.
I know Mr. Moore. I went to law school with Mr. Bledsoe. I know Brother
Wilson? Yes.
His sister used to be my secretary when I was practicing law 25
right.
years ago.
Wow.
Oh, longer than that. But,
As I
so-
say on the show often, I'm dating myself here. Yeah.
Well, me too. My birthday is day after tomorrow.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Happy birthday!
So I've been around for a minute. So there you go. But
It's-
I am so proud of those gentlemen for stepping up.
Yeah.
They should have been there for the trial.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I believe that the family of the defendant believed elsewhere, and you see what happens when you
Yeah.
believe elsewhere.
Yeah.
But we won't go into that because that's a
Whole different
open-
show. And Russell, I will be reaching out to you to have you guys on next year. As I'm almost booked for the rest of the year here.
And
So-
Russell, you know that you are the expert in criminal law in the in the city of Dallas, and so we're going to depend on you, sir.
Yes. So again, it just behooves that the citizens, if they believe they want safety, it's not just about having a police officer on every corner. It's also the awareness of the process that needs to go correctly and making sure that we're holding the bad apples accountable and making sure that they are doing their job. So, officers, we need y'all to step up. And I know that it's like high school, being in a clique, and you want to be with the cool kids and not the uncool kids. And I will say that never in my time have I ever known fighting for what's right.
Yeah.
Getting you in trouble more than doing what's wrong.
Good trouble, exactly.
Good trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
But standing up for what is correct, what the law says is supposed to happen, gets you in more trouble. That
Welcome to America.
blows my mind. So tell me more about your work that you've done across the nation, and what are people saying to you? What do they want our officials to do for them?
Yeah, I mean, due process for everybody, right? Like, again, if someone is in a legal process laid out by our government, the government may not like all these asylum seekers, but after World War II, this law was passed by Congress because we sent so many people back to Germany to die.
Yes.
And so the law is, if you step foot on this soil, which is why this most recent Supreme Court ruling came the way it did this week.
We did.
If you step foot on our soil, you have a right to apply for asylum.
Right.
And there is a process to go through with that. And the Supreme Court ruling this week said that Trump and his gang can keep people from ever stepping foot
They can
on
prevent
soil.
them from getting to the soil. And what that's going to do, quite frankly, is going to create even more folks who are illegally entering the country.
Right.
Because if you know that if I set foot in Texas, I can be processed, but if I'm in the river, I cannot, I'm going to cross that river.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And so it's going to encourage, in my opinion, it's going to encourage people to illegally cross rather than try to sweep the side of the
Okay,
normal.
but then that opens up the door to have more ICE agents to round up
There you
people.
go.
It does.
So
It's
it
It's a
just
cycle.
seems-
It's a cycle.
Yes.
And an
It's a cycle.
intentional cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be serious about
Yeah.
it.
Because
Of
as we
course.
talked about,
Money.
for-profit prisons, and
And that's
then
a whole other thing.
getting paid per head, and when your head count goes down, that means you have less money. And so my soapbox is, I'm tired of commoners
Yeah.
being treated as a source of funding.
Yeah.
From our property taxes all the way up, sales tax to criminal justice to you marketing things,
Our
to
data.
to government contracts being handed out so somebody can be a trillionaire. I'm sick of all of it, because I don't think that I was born just to fund somebody's
No.
dreams to be written up in history as the
No.
first trillionaire.
No.
And we are not getting the philanthropy that we used to get.
That was the only reason that we tolerated billionaires and trillionaires was because they were the ones who were building hospitals and libraries
Yes.
and giving money to people to make sure that
Buildings
they
on
could eat
school
and
campuses.
schools.
Yes.
But now all
That's-
they're doing is gathering their money,
Yeah.
kind of like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Just put it all in there and swim in their money.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you working hard and becoming a millionaire as long as you recognize where it came from.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
God don't like ugly.
Well,
No.
and it's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
Got my
Because
people to sleep.
if we're not spending the money, guess what? You're not getting it.
Yeah.
So, what do we do now? We got the lawsuits that are starting to catch up with the process.
Yeah.
So, is there anything?
People need to speak out. I mean, I think that's one of the things I noticed both in Chicago and Minneapolis when I went and covered there. And maybe it's because, so those are blue states, blue cities. And
Yes.
so there was a real deliberate effort to make it as violent as possible. We don't see the violence here
No.
out in the open.
No.
But in Texas, so in the United States, 1 in 4 people being kidnapped by ICE is being done in Texas. And Dallas County has the highest rate of those kidnappings of anywhere in the U.S.
One in what?
That I don't know.
Okay.
But if 1 in 4 is Texas, and Dallas County out of the
Has the
most
highest.
of anywhere in the U.S.,
Probably 1 in
there's
3.
a lot happening here, and we need people to like show up. I am part of a prayer vigil every Monday morning from 8 to 10 in front of the ICE field office down on Stemmons. Show
Yes.
up there.
Yes.
Get trained. There are groups that do these trainings where you go and you observe in court. Just having people present in the courtroom,
Your presence makes a difference.
it does. People are treated differently. They're treated with a little more respect. A little more
Because there are
respect.
eyes.
Right, because people are watching. Get to know, get involved. There's different community groups. There, people are just, it frustrates me to have seen such a community response in Minneapolis and Chicago, from the faith community to just average citizens to the people who are, proudly atheist, heathens,
Yes.
whatever they wanted to
Right.
call themselves.
Right.
People were showing up for their neighbors in
Yes.
ways that Dallas, I
We-
just don't see.
And
Yeah.
and
Until it shows up on
Until,
their
right,
doorstep.
Right.
Go ahead,
and if
please.
you get a jury summons, don't avoid it.
yeah.
Be part of the jury. Be part of the system. This whole business about, let me see if I can get out of it, I got to work, blah, 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 blah. Well, tell that to the person who's being tried.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
their family.
Yes.
Be-
Because they want
be
a
responsible.
panel of their peers.
Peers. And let's not even get into that discussion.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah.
Ash, I told him, I said, I'm always down for Pookie and Bray Bray, so if I'm on the jury, they gonna strike me, because that's what jury nullification.
And that's another thing.
Voir dire.
Try not to get off the jury.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be careful about what you say.
Say,
Yeah.
When
yes.
you're being voir dire.
Yeah.
Don't immediately say, if the cop is testifying, I'm not going to trust him.
Right.
Say, I trust everyone who has sworn to tell the truth. Those kinds of things.
Right.
Be
Less is better.
yes. Be specific about the fact that you do want to serve.
Yeah. I will also just throw out one more that happened. It's in Fort Worth, not Dallas. But we just had the conviction of all of those protesters.
Yes.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
I am
Wasn't
not
it overturned?
No, I'm not no. They got their sentencing this week.
Oh,
and
okay.
one of the people was sentenced to 50 years in prison.
Yes.
For he wasn't even at the Prairie Land. He wasn't even there. After the fact, he moved some of those zines, I don't even know. Moving material, reading material got him 50 years.
They're trying to send a message.
They are.
And
And so
they're
I
doing
just
a good
think
job of it.
they are, right? And so we just got to be
Don't
aware
be
about what's
don't-
happening, even not in Dallas, but North Texas. Like this whole ICE, immigration, authoritarianism, I said it, thing
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
is happening.
Because you may think you look like an American.
Right.
You may think you sound like an American. They will still detain you and put you in a detention center
And
that
that's a
no
whole nother
one
thing.
can get oversight on
Right.
and look at the conditions
Right.
If
of the
a-
people that are being held there.
If a United States senator
Right.
can be thrown to the ground
Correct.
by
Yes.
trying to find out what's going on in the detention center, we've got a serious problem.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we need to recognize that.
People, it's so important to participate. I know everyone is caught up with, just trying to make a living,
Right.
paying their bills, taking care of their families and whatnot. But eventually, the snake will turn on you.
Mm-hmm.
Just think that we're just in a pit of snakes.
Yeah.
And eventually, the snakes come after their own, they come after themselves.
Yep.
And you have to stand up and make sure that if you're not fighting for your neighbor, fight for yourself.
Right.
Because the last thing that you want to happen is to get scooped up and you're like, insert whatever word you want to. What do I do now?
Yeah.
What do my kids do now? How do they find me? How do I get in touch with them? Because I'm assuming nobody gets their phone call.
Oh, no. Well, I will also tell you, when they're taken in here in our field office here, people show up for an appointment. For them to make a phone call, they have to pay for it. You know how much it costs to make a phone call from inside? $50.
$50 to make a phone call?
Uh-huh. That's our immigration system at work, right?
Oh my goodness.
For everyone who says that they're not voting come November, shame on you. Y'all 92% folks, y'all, baby, it's bigger than your favorite person not winning the nominee.
And all politics is local.
It is.
It is.
And you need to recognize, I know you may not be voting for president, but you're voting for people who represent you in Washington or represent you in Austin or represent you right here in Dallas and Fort Worth. You're voting for folks who represent you. You need to make sure that your representation reflects your actual abilities and your actual reasons.
Your values, what
Right.
you hold dear.
Because even though the other party's nominee that won has a long history, and I lost respect over the securities indictment that they got, and all they had to do was disclose. That was all they had to do, and they didn't, and they fought tooth and nail to make sure they never went to trial and got it dismissed. That is working the system. That is working the people that you know to get out of trouble. Why do you want somebody like that representing you? So if you end up not freaking voting, then we end up getting a government that you decided by your inaction, and then you're going to want to complain. And I'm going to tell you to shut up.
I'm going to say a whole lot more than that.
And I'm
On camera, I'm going to tell you to shut up.
And I'm going to be very neutral. As we lawyers have to be, and judges.
Well, you can say it in legalese way.
Yeah, I could. I still serve as a judge, okay?
Yeah.
So I am sort of somewhat restricted.
Yes,
in the things
yes,
I say.
yes. So it behooves you to make sure that you're participating in this fight at every level. I'm tired of Texas just being red. Just, they say, oh, keep us here so we can fix it. Well, baby, you've been there for 20 plus years.
They're the ones that broke it.
So what are you supposed to be fixing? Because there has been Democrat-led nothing here in the statewide in Texas for quite some time.
Yeah.
So the broken is starting to look like it's you. So 92%ers, get over your feelings. I don't care about people, harping on. She was my state rep. Campaign left and right for her to become my state rep. My son was in love with that girl. She didn't win in March. Keep it moving.
Recognize that the alternative
Is worse.
And that's more than I'm supposed to say.
Right. So, and with that, you'll get even more reinforcement for bad things happening.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get legislation that will move through the Senate faster in order to come after people. Because here's the thing, they start with the illegals, the bad guys, the criminals that are coming over here undocumented and whatnot, and now they're coming after the people who are following the process that you claim once done. They'll start coming after people, and they're coming after the people that are born here from immigrants.
Well, they're talking about revoking citizenship for people who naturalized, like they moved here, they did the process, they went through their citizenship test, they are U.S. citizens. They've now got a batch of them. They're going to take that away.
So
when does that
what
stop?
makes you think they won't come for you? Because they will. And they're showing you by going through their little checklist of people that they're willing to get rid of. and you say, oh, well, I was born here, and I don't care what the president has said, that birthright citizenship was for the slaves, and all this, that, there, and the other. Well, it's on the books. So repeal it or honor it. If you're about the laws, support the laws being followed, even for the enforcers. The Watchmen. I love that movie. So there was the owl guy, Rorschach. He was the one with the stuff.
Oh.
Yes. And I remember one of the characters saying, well, who watches the Watchmen?
Oh.
And that's a very good question. Somebody's got to watch the Watchers.
And it's up to us as the regular people to watch the Watchmen.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, legislation-wise up in D.C., do we have anything going there to help
Immigrants or
with enforcement?
ICE? No,
Yeah.
no.
We can't get anything through the
No.
United States Senate until we get some senators up there who think and work like we do. So the answer to the question is no. Even when they do pass something like they did with the housing bill, it gets blocked because somebody wants a bill passed that will restrict citizenship. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to realize that if that so-called, what's that thing
Save
called?
Act.
Save Act, if that thing passes, if you're a woman, have changed your name, have gotten married, you're not going to be able to vote because your birth certificate is different
Doesn't
from
match.
your current name.
But they want you to get married and have kids.
That's right. I mean, people need to recognize that the two bills are so different and have nothing to do with each other, but yet you're not going to pass.
You want to tie up your own hands.
I'm sorry. I'm starting to stutter because it's so
Infuriating.
Infuriating. Thank you.
People, do you not realize? I mean, yes, we started here with this conversation to talk about who watches the Watchmen, the oversight,
Yeah.
and how we need to move forward. And if you're pro states' right, I don't even have to ask what's going on in Austin to help protect. I don't have to ask. I already know. When you want Bible thumping to happen in the schools, and I call it that because I'm like, if I want my children to know about religion, I take them to church on Sundays. That is my job. Stop stepping on my rights as a parent.
100%.
If I want to take them to the house of Satan, my personal choice. If I want
Correct.
to take them to a Buddhist temple,
Correct.
my choice. If I want to take them to the church I grew up in,
Yep.
my choice. If I want to take them to the church my great-great-grandmother founded in the home that we're in, choice. I'm the adult in the room.
Yep.
So, adults, we need y'all to step up. If not for your brother, for yourself.
Absolutely.
So, it pisses me off.
Yeah. It should.
It
It should
boggles
piss off anybody who has, I don't know.
a modicum of thought.
Right. There you go. There you go.
Just any semblance of neurons firing
Right.
in your head. I want people to show up. You guys' meeting is once a month.
Once a month, and the next one is in August. The reason we're not meeting in July is because the city council does not meet in July, so our boards do not meet in July. But in August, I can tell you specifically what the date is in August, if you'd like.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll do that while we're sitting here. It is usually the second Tuesday of August. Yes, it is. Tuesday, August the 11th at 5:30 p.m. at Dallas City Hall in the City Hall chambers. Again, that's Tuesday, August 11th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. in the City Hall chambers. And that's the meeting of the Community Police Oversight Board. And you are welcome, you're encouraged, and you're invited.
And I tell people all the time, because as you said earlier, I'm always somewhere. It's a full-time job to attend all of these protests and meetings and commissions and observe what's going on, because I've told y'all, go to your courtrooms. You can be an observer in our civil, family, and criminal courtrooms.
That is our right.
You can go and just watch the proceedings.
That's your responsibility.
Yes.
Boom.
Not just your right.
Yes.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yes. So, with that, I've told some of my precinct chairs and neighbors, form a group. You got this, you got this, you got this, because you can't be somewhere all the time. And each assigned person has their area that they focus on and report back to the group what the hell is happening. Y'all done got me up here cussing on my show, and out of 10 years, I hadn't done it yet, and I did it today.
Doesn't take long.
I've cried on the show. I've been brought to tears like 3 or 4 times now and done cussed because y'all pissing me off. It's not.
The fact that 1,500 people can elect somebody to the city council of the city of Dallas is ridiculous. Okay, let's call
Let's start there.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Amen.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Right.
That means you can get your club people together and run and become an office or become a representative. It makes no sense. You need to participate. Like she said, 92% of the people out there don't even bother to vote. And then they're going to complain about what happens with the people who are voting. Well, you let it happen. You're responsible.
You're responsible for this.
You did it. And you're going to say, well, how can I get myself out of it? Well, how do you expect yourself to get yourself out of what you got yourself into? You need to be able. You need to. My pastor says that. So I'm going to give the responsibility where it belongs. You need to be part of the issue. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, and that comes from Morehouse.
And your silence, you're complicit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nazi Germany happened because good people
were silent.
And we're on our way.
Not turning a blind eye, ignoring it, saying it's not your problem. Well, baby, don't get upset when it comes to your doorstep and everybody else acts the same way that you did. I know it's scary. I know it's overwhelming. I know it's all of those things because just here in Dallas County, you have elections for your tax assessor, your school board trustees, your Dallas Community College representatives, State Board of Education, the City Council, your mayor, your sheriff, your county commissioner, your judges. I mean, the list goes on, your county clerk, all of those things. And since 2016, I've been bringing these people to you so you can come and ask them questions, so you can understand what their role is and what they do. Now, it's still your responsibility to hold them to the wire. I tell everybody, make those seats turnstiles every election until you get somebody in there who is afraid of failing the people. Because we outnumber. As my boy Lee Daughtery would say, eat the rich. Vote them out. Vote them out, vote them in. And let them know, if I put you in that seat, I can take you out of that seat. You respond to me. You represent me. You are to do what is in the best interest of all of us, not just a select few.
Yep.
Okay, so next steps. So what?
I've got a funeral to go to.
I know, we got to wrap up. So, in closing, what we got to do besides get involved? And I know we got to get
show
involved.
up. Well, now we're going to be talking at the Police Oversight Board about how the police can help protect everyone who lives in Dallas.
And bring up Love Field.
Bring up Love Field.
Bring up, and you can sign up and speak.
Yes, you can sign up and speak. 72 hours, that is 3 days before the meeting, you can sign up. And actually, we have a process where we have the speakers at the beginning who have signed up. And if someone shows up and hasn't signed up, we have a second area of speaking at the end. So you can speak and you can say what it is you need to say. Usually 3 minutes, sometimes 2, depending on how many speakers we have.
Okay, let that be known, because and there's been a whole lot of discussion about speaking time at meetings and council meetings and school board trustee meetings and
You
whatnot.
have a
That's
right to speak.
You have
Yes.
a right to speak.
And
have
if
a
you're a
right-
person of faith, any faith, it's an interfaith prayer vigil every Monday morning in front of the ICE field office in Dallas, 8 to 10. We provide a little shade, bring your water, wear your sunscreen, come out and just be present there. It's a ministry of presence.
All right, guys. So next Saturday I will not see you because of the holiday, and then July 11th I will not see you all because I will be running for the Blues. So I will see you on July 18th when I have Scotty Smith on to talk about strong mayor, since he's from Houston, and our current mayoral system here in Dallas, and how we kind of impede our own growth here in Dallas with our processes. So stay cool. It's going to be hot this weekend. Enjoy your loved ones, and come on, join the fight, stand up for the cause, protect yourself. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.